Imagine this, the world's most powerful telescope spots something massive, hurtling through space. Not a comet, not a meteor, but a mountain-sized asteroid, moving faster than a bullet on a direct collision course with Earth. NASA does the math. In 18 days, everything we know will be gone. No second chances, no backup planet. And in this moment of impossible doom, humanity turns not to soldiers or scientists, but to a group of rough-and-tumble old drillers, men who dig deep, curse loud, and risk their lives every single day. This is the story of sacrifice, love, and the ultimate fight against time. This is Armageddon. Hey everyone, welcome back to Real Movie Breakdown. If you're new here, I'm your narrator, and today we're diving deep into one of the most emotional disaster films ever made, Armageddon 1998, directed by Michael Bay and produced by Jerry Bruckheimer. So grab your popcorn, buckle up, and let's relive the moment when ordinary men became Earth's last hope. It all starts in space. A satellite gets obliterated by a storm of small meteor fragments. NASA scrambles. Director Dan Truman, played by Billy Bob Thornton, rushes to his team. They realize these aren't random meteors. They're debris from a much larger body. Something colossal heading straight toward Earth. The calculations are chilling. Impact in 18 days. Size roughly the same as Texas. If it hits, the entire planet will face extinction. The president is briefed immediately. We're looking at a global killer, Truman says. The end of mankind. There's silence in the room. And then the impossible question. How do we stop it? NASA's best scientists propose a single, desperate idea: drill deep into the asteroid's core, plant a nuclear bomb, and blow it apart before it reaches Earth. But there's one huge problem: no one at NASA knows how to drill that deep. So Truman finds the best man on Earth for the job, Harry Stamper, played by Bruce Willis. Harry is an old driller, the best there is, a hard-as-rock leader with a short temper and a heart that beats for his daughter, Grace Lee Tyler. We meet Harry on his old rig in the middle of the ocean. He's furious. His right-hand man, AJ Frost Ben Affleck, is secretly dating Grace. Harry chases AJ across the rig with a shotgun, shouting, "You touch my daughter again, I'll kill you." Instinct. It's a chaotic, funny moment that quickly turns serious. A sudden accident causes an explosion on the rig. While they manage to control it, Harry gets a call from NASA. Harry and AJ are flown to NASA headquarters in Houston. Truman explains the asteroid situation, showing terrifying images of the rock the size of a continent. Harry listens, stunned. "You're asking me to drill on that?" Truman nods. "We need you to train our astronauts to drill. You're the only one who's ever drilled that deep before." Harry looks around, unimpressed. "How long do we have?" 18 days. Harry laughs bitterly. "You can't teach drilling in 18 days. Then, he drops the bombshell. "If you want it done right, you send us." And just like that, NASA agrees. They'll send old drillers to space. Harry gathers his crew, a group of wild, eccentric, and loyal men who trust him with their lives. Rockhound Steve Buscemi, a genius geologist with a twisted sense of humor. Mayor Michael Clark Duncan, a huge biker with a big heart. Max Ken Campbell, tough but lovable. Oscar, Chick, and others, all part of the family. They're shocked when Harry tells them they're going to NASA, and even more shocked when he says they're heading to space. AJ joins too, despite Harry's objections, because Grace convinces her father that AJ deserves a chance. At NASA, the team goes through astronaut training. The old drillers struggle: physical tests, technical drills, zero-gravity simulations. They fail miserably at first. But Truman's team quickly sees what makes them special: loyalty, bravery, and instinct. Meanwhile, we learn more about Harry's bond with Grace. She grew up on oil rigs, surrounded by her dad's rough crew, but she's tired of living in his shadow. She loves AJ, but Harry can't let go of his overprotective nature. There's a beautiful emotional scene between them, where Grace says softly, "You were always there for the all, never for me." Harry looks heartbroken. He doesn't know how to respond. Back at NASA, the world is watching. Media reports spark panic. Countries are preparing for impact. Truman feels the pressure from the president. The mission must launch soon. Harry's team finally gets the hang of the drills. They're ready. But before they leave, each man gets a chance to say goodbye to their families. Chick visits his son, who doesn't even know he's his father. Rockhound goes a little crazy and spends his last night in Vegas. And Harry, he sits quietly with Grace, telling her that he'll be home soon. Grace just says, "Come back, Daddy." The music swells. The countdown begins. 2 shuttles, Freedom and Independence, are prepared for launch. The drillers, now in astronaut suits, look both terrified and proud. As they strap in, Truman gives them one final speech. "You are our last hope, Godspeed." Engines ignite. The ground shakes. And in one of Michael Bay's most iconic sequences, the rockets tear through the sky, humanity's final shot at survival. As the shuttles disappear into space, Grace watches from mission control, tears in her eyes. Cut to black, as the engines roar beneath them. The shuttle's Freedom and Independence break through the Earth's atmosphere. Inside, the crew feels the crushing G-forces. Their bodies pressed into their seats. The noise fades. Silence. They're in space. Harry stares out the window. Earth looks like a glowing blue marble beneath them. For the first time, these old drillers, men who live their lives covered in dirt and sweat, are floating among the stars. AJ cracks a nervous joke, but everyone's too overwhelmed to laugh. Even Rockhound, who's usually wild and sarcastic, whispers, "We're really up here." Their first stop, the Russian space station, where they'll refuel before heading to the asteroid. They're greeted by Lev Andropov, the eccentric Russian cosmonaut who's been alone up there for 18 months. Lev's cabin looks like it's falling apart, but he's cheerful. "Welcome to the United States Space Station, comrades," he jokes. As the shuttles connect and refueling begins, things seem smooth, until a valve malfunctions. Fuel pressure rises dangerously. AJ and Lev try to fix it manually, but the system explodes. Fire erupts. The entire station shakes violently. Harry shouts, "Get out! Everybody out!" In a rush of chaos and flames, the crew barely escapes. The station explodes behind them, a giant ball of fire lighting up the stars. They've lost precious fuel and time, but they're alive. Lev, now stranded, climbs aboard with them, his only chance of survival. As they near the asteroid, the tension inside both shuttles is unbearable. NASA tracks every movement, watching from Houston. The asteroid, a monstrous, rotating rock, fills the entire view. Dust, fire, and debris surround it. They plan to land on 2 sides, Freedom carrying Harry's main team, and Independence carrying AJ's group. But just before descent, something goes wrong. A meteor storm hits. Small, deadly fragments slam into the shuttles at hyperspeed. A chunk tears through Independence. The ship loses control, spinning out of orbit. Inside, alarms blare, metal rips apart, and AJ screams, "We're not gonna make it." Independence crashes violently onto the asteroid's surface. NASA loses all contact. Everyone assumes AJ and his team are dead. Harry's shuttle, Freedom, somehow lands, but miles off the target zone. They have to reach the right drilling site before time runs out. The surface looks like a nightmare, dark, jagged, constantly shifting. Gravity is unstable, and the air is filled with flying rock fragments. The team steps out Earth's first footsteps on an asteroid. They unload the drilling equipment and begin setting up, but it's harder than anyone imagined. The rock is much tougher than expected. Bits of machinery break. Temperatures fluctuate wildly. Back at NASA, Truman watches helplessly as telemetry data goes haywire. Time is ticking. They have less than 12 hours before the asteroid reaches the zero barrier, the point of no return. Meanwhile, far across the asteroid, AJ wakes up among wreckage. The Independence is destroyed. 2 of his men are dead, but AJ, Lev, and Bear have somehow survived. They salvage a rover and decide to drive across the asteroid's surface to reach Harry's team. It's a wild, dangerous ride. Craters explode, mini meteor showers rain down, and the ground cracks open beneath them. During the journey, AJ thinks of Grace back on Earth, watching from NASA. He whispers, "I'm coming home, Grace. I promise." Back at Harry's site, they finally begin drilling. But it's brutal. The surface is filled with iron instead of soft rock. The drill bit breaks almost immediately. The clock keeps ticking. Tension explodes. Rockhound snaps, "We're not drillers anymore, Harry. We're just men waiting to die." Harry grabs him by the collar, "We're gonna finish what we started." Then, just as they fix the bit and start drilling again, another explosion hits. A pocket of gas erupts beneath them. Max's vehicle is caught in the blast. Harry screams his name, but it's too late. Max is gone. For the first time, Harry's confidence cracks. He stares at the smoke where his friend just died and whispers, "We're running out of time." Down on Earth, things are getting worse. Meteor fragments are now hitting major cities. Paris is obliterated in one strike. The president authorizes NASA to detonate the bomb remotely if the team fails to drill deep enough in time. Truman argues they're still working. Give them more time. But Washington doesn't listen. As the tension builds, Grace stands in the control room, watching her father's life hanging by a thread. On the asteroid, the drill reaches only 250 feet, far from the target 800 feet required. Then, a signal from NASA comes through. "You have 30 minutes before we detonate remotely." Harry and the crew refuse to stop. When NASA's override command tries to activate the bomb, Harry's men physically block it. A military officer on the team, Colonel Sharp, points his gun at Harry. The standoff is intense. Harry steps forward, fearless. "You want to blow this thing? Go ahead. But you'll kill us all and the planet." After a tense pause, Sharp lowers his weapon. He finally says, "Keep drilling." Just when all hope seems lost, headlights appear in the distance. AJ, Bear, and Luff arrive in their rover. The team rushes to them, overjoyed. Harry runs to AJ and, for the first time, embraces him. "You made it," he says quietly. AJ smiles back, "Told you I'd finish the job." They quickly unload the spare drill and double their efforts. The hole finally reaches the depth, 800 feet. They arm the bomb and prepare to head home. But then, fate strikes again. The detonator malfunctions. Someone must stay behind to trigger it manually. Silence. The team looks around, no one speaks. Harry knows what he has to do. The asteroid rumbles beneath them, every second closer to Earth. The team gathers around the bomb. The digital timer flickers red. Device error. Truman's voice crackles through the comms. "You have to trigger it manually." A silence fills the cabin. Someone must stay behind. Harry looks at his men, his brothers, all battered, covered in dust, barely standing. He says quietly, "I'll do it." AJ immediately steps forward. "No, I'll go. This was my fault from the start. I'll finish it." Harry places a hand on his shoulder, his voice steady but full of emotion. "You go take care of my little girl now. That's your job." AJ shakes his head, tears in his eyes. "Harry, no." But before he can say another word, Harry tricks him. He removes AJ's air hose connector, pushes him back toward the shuttle, and forces the hatch to close. Through the glass, AJ screams, banging on the door, as Harry gives him one final smile, a father's goodbye. Then Harry says into the comms, "He's going home, Truman. I'll take it from here." Down on Earth, Grace watches through the video link. Harry's face fills the screen, dirt-streaked, tired, but peaceful. "Grace," he says softly, "you got to know that Daddy didn't break his promise. I'll always be with you, honey." Grace is crying uncontrollably. "No, Daddy, please come back. Don't leave me." He smiles faintly. "You take care of AJ now. He's going to need you." The connection fades. Static takes over. Truman lowers his head. There's not a dry in mission control. Harry steps out onto the asteroid's surface one last time. The ground shakes violently as gravity pulls harder. The asteroid is now crossing the zero barrier. He walks to the bomb, sets the manual detonator, and sits down quietly, staring at the planet in the distance. Earth small, blue, beautiful. Everything he's ever loved is down there. He takes one deep breath, whispers, "We win, Grace," and presses the button. A blinding light floods the screen. The asteroid splits apart, one half vaporizing in the blast, the other pushed just far enough to miss Earth. For a moment, silence. Then, cheering erupts at NASA. Truman closes his eyes in relief. They did it. The remaining shuttle, Freedom, begins its descent through the atmosphere. It's a rough re-entry. Flames surround the ship. Alarms blare, and everyone braces for impact. Then, calm. Parachutes deploy. The shuttle lands safely in the ocean. Rescue teams rush in, pulling the survivors to safety. AJ steps out first, exhausted, eyes full of tears. Grace runs through the crowd and straight into his arms. No words, just pure emotion. They look to the sky, knowing Harry is gone. But the world is alive because of him. In the final scene, we see Grace dressed in white, standing at Harry's memorial. Pictures of the fallen crew line the wall, heroes who gave everything. A slow version of I Don't Want to Miss a Thing by Aerosmith plays softly in the background. We see flashes of each man smiling, laughing, alive. Truman's voice narrates over the montage. Heroes are ordinary men who do extraordinary things. When the world needs them most, the American flag waves. The screen fades to black. And that, my friends, was Armageddon 1998, a story of courage, sacrifice, and love that transcends even the stars. It's more than a disaster movie. It's a story about what it means to be human, to fight for something greater than yourself. If you enjoyed this breakdown and love reliving cinematic classics, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell icon so you never miss a story. This is Real Movie Breakdown, where we don't just tell stories, we make you feel them. Until next time, stay curious, stay brave, and I'll see you in the next breakdown.